I listened to 20 different projects in the month of April, so here's my ranking of them from worst to best. Let's get right into it. Starting off pretty solid, but a typical Conway project with some Griselda, eerie, and menacing production. Benny the Butcher kills as a feature, but same old formula. Following the hype of the SD Kid project, Rico actually does a pretty solid job with the flooded basses and the heavy 808s. However, it kind of misses that same mark. Typical blue stuff with some great lyricism and some introspective moments, and Exile's production being so smooth and gospel-like, it does get a little bit boring for me. Very groovy and funky towards the beginning, with some interesting rap features with Lil Wayne and Clips. However, it gets a little basic and a little too bland of an R&B towards middle. Lazy Flow Kings collab was kind of disappointing with these shorter songs. However, Earl's parts were the main focal point, and I think shows that he's the best at this type of rap. The EP of this group that dropped right after the full-length project, it was faster, it was cheerier. However, the voice was a tad bit annoying and a little cringe. If you're looking for a traditional country album, even with some honky-tonk type of sounds towards the end, it is what you would expect from a country pop project. It had some really nice moments, but it doesn't move the needle that much. One of my favorite artists that I've been shown to back in 2022, collabing with that same producer and showing more emotion, showing more heavy bar work. He's one of those underground rap artists that you must keep an eye out for. One of the kings of neo soul and funky groovy music as well. That Mac Miller feature was heavenly. However, I felt a little disappointing as how one-dimensional this started sounding towards the end. UK hip-hop artist that kind of delivers a fun and R&B twist, some Dijon, Red, and Kanye influences, with the production being more piano and synth heavy, very emotional, and Shadow Puppet is one of the best songs of the year. This one's found in more chill, a little bit more cohesive, kind of like an OK Lou. She's so creative, so much depth to her songs, and I can't wait to see where she keeps rising in her potential. Smooth singing with some moody and heavier bass. She's one of the more talented artists with the vocals shining the brightest. There was a slight lack of the wow factor with some of the songs. Very fun, weird, and hyper pop energy mixed in with some indie rock elements. Some video game bubbly sounds that could be annoying, but still a very enjoyable project. The full-length album, very great build-ups with the intro and the outro setting the tone. The long run times didn't feel dragged on at all, and I feel like this is the type of sound that is really driving in the point this year. Maria from the Marias dropped another solo project, this time being a very short EP with the first couple songs sounding more beautiful and cheery, kind of giving me a run your mouth type of vibe. It just shows how talented she is and how she can never really miss. Her voice is beautiful. She has some insane catchy choruses and kind of gives Gracie Abrams vibes, but with a little bit more personality with her approach. One of the top voices in the disco and dance pop scenes. Again, another fun, vibrant, energetic project that just shows how well and how dominant she is in this genre. A folk king drops once again. This album sticks once again, as well as the deluxe, showing off his depth in his build-ups, the way he can actually transport you to those East Coast states. Coming up to the runner-up of the month, this one had so much whimsical and theatrical natures to it. Think Black Country New Road mixed with Racing Mount Pleasant. I'm transported to a Midwestern type of setting. It still kept me on my toes and did not really drag on considering the length of these songs. And for my number one project of April has to be this electro-pop project from Tiffany Day, really combining that Frost Children underscores. It is catchy, it is very high energy, but it has some emotional elements to her singing. She's super catchy, has such a great purpose. One of those people in the electronic scene that you cannot miss out on. So there you have it. Those are my rankings of the month of April. Let me know what you think, and let me know what your favorite project of April was.